Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're jumping right into the high-stakes power shift that's shaking up the entire world of artificial intelligence right now. You know, for the past few years, the story of AI has felt like, well, it's had two main characters, right? Two rebels leading this massive tech revolution. But that's all changing. A sleeping giant has just woken up, and believe me, the whole game is about to be turned on its head.
All right, so let's set the stage. Who exactly are these two companies that have been running the show?
So, on one hand, you've got OpenAI. They're the software pioneers, the ones who blew everyone's minds and brought AI to the dinner table with ChatGPT. And then you've got NVIDIA. They started with gaming chips but became the undisputed hardware kings. Their chips, they're basically the picks and shovels of the AI gold rush. These two, together, looked absolutely unbeatable.
But here comes the twist. Both of these leaders are now facing their biggest challenge yet. The old empire, Google, is striking back. And they're not just attacking one flank, they're launching a massive war on two fronts.
And this is where it gets really, really interesting. Look at this two-pronged attack. First, they're going after OpenAI with their Gemini models. On paper, these things are scoring better than even OpenAI's best stuff. That's a direct shot. At the same time, they're taking on NVIDIA. How? By selling their own specialized AI chips, their TPUs, to some of the biggest players in the game. We're talking Meta, Anthropic. These are NVIDIA's top customers. It's a direct assault on both the software and hardware king. So that's the big question, right? How on earth do these two leaders defend themselves against a giant like Google? What kind of defenses, what kind of moats do they even have to protect their kingdoms? Okay, let's look at NVIDIA first. For a long time, their dominance has felt like an impenetrable fortress, and it was really built on three key pillars. So, what are those pillars? 1. Pure performance. Their chips were just flat out the most powerful. 2. Flexibility. They weren't just for one thing, you could use their GPUs for all sorts of tasks. And 3, and this is the big one, CUDA. That's their special software platform. It basically created this whole ecosystem that was super hard for developers to leave. It was a classic lock-in. But every fortress has a weakness, and NVIDIA's is pretty clear. Most of their chips are bought by just a handful of huge companies. And what are those companies doing now? They're so big and have so much money that they're just building their own way out. They're investing in alternatives, which directly weakens that CUDA lock-in. For the rest of us, this could actually be a good thing. More competition, maybe even lower costs down the road. All right, now let's switch gears and talk about OpenAI. Their main defense is completely different. It's not about hardware, it's not about software, it's something else entirely. And honestly, it's way, way harder to copy. And here it is. This number is just staggering. We're talking over 800 million people using ChatGPT every single week. That's not just a user base, that's a global phenomenon. It's an absolutely incredible amount of human attention, all focused in one place. This is a perfect example of something called aggregation theory. Think about it. It's a lot easier for a few big companies to decide, hey, let's switch chip suppliers, than it is to convince millions and millions of individual people to change a daily habit. That user loyalty, that habit, that is OpenAI's real fortress. But here's the thing. This massive user base gives OpenAI a kind of untapped superpower, something they haven't even really deployed yet, but it could make their moat against Google almost impossibly deep. So what is this game-changing secret weapon? Well, the irony here is just perfect. It's the exact same business model that made Google the empire it is today. Yep, advertising. It's the engine that built Google, it's what they do better than anyone. And it's something OpenAI has pretty much stayed away from, choosing to focus on subscriptions. Now, bringing ads in isn't just about cashing a check. It creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop. You get more users, you get more data and feedback. That data makes the AI model smarter. A smarter model gives better, more personalized answers, which, you guessed it, attracts even more users. For you and me, that could mean a free, even more amazing version of ChatGPT. The trade-off? It would become an ad-driven platform, just like the search engines we already use every day.
Okay, so this brings us to the final showdown. Google is awake, they're on the attack, and let's be clear, they have some absolutely massive advantages of their own.
I mean, look at what Google brings to the table. They have basically unlimited money and infrastructure. They are the undisputed leader in video AI thanks to YouTube. And when it comes to turning user attention into cash, nobody And I mean nobody does it better. They can afford to play the long game, a war of attrition. So when you lay it all out, the battle lines are pretty clear, aren't they? You've got Google's sheer overwhelming resources and their proven money-making machine on one side. And on the other, you have OpenAI's absolutely massive user base and their ability to move fast. It's a classic battle of brute force versus network effects. Look, the outcome of this whole thing is going to define the future of technology for years to come, and it really all boils down to one fascinating question. In this new era of AI, what's more powerful? An empire's nearly infinite resources or a kingdom's command over 800 million minds?